Hi, welcome back to OnlineBiz TV. I am Ruth, and in today's video we're doing something a little different than we usually do. Today I am going to be reacting to a video by Mark Tilbury. I think that's how you say his last name, I'm not 100% sure. Mark is a millionaire businessman sharing his knowledge for free with his 5 million followers on social media. No BS courses and no webinars. And these are his own words on his LinkedIn. Check it out. The videos I will be reacting to today is passive income. Ideas to make $500 per day in 2021. And I have come across this video and I thought it was very interesting and wanted to share my thoughts on this. So obviously Mark is one of the OGs of business compared to what we're doing here. He has years of experience, and I'm not here to say that his experience is wrong or right, because obviously he is successful and he managed to create a successful business and make quite a bit of money. He's a millionaire. But I do want to talk about his passive income ideas. So let's jump into the video. It's going to be sped up because that's just how I watch YouTube. Never in regular speed. Don't know about you guys. Before I go ahead and jump into the video, there is something very important that I need you guys to do right now, which is to go ahead and smash the like button so YouTube knows that this is an interesting video. You want to help us out, reach other people and help them start their business as well, don't you? Now, let's get into the video.
Hey, it's Mark, and today I'm going to be talking about how I earn money 24 hours a day. And no, it's not by having some crazy sleep pattern. I'll leave that to the Navy SEALs. So you've probably guessed it from the title. Let's talk about 5 of my favorite passive income sources and how you can earn an extra $500 a day or even more. Over my years in business, I have pretty much come across every one of the different passive income strategies. If you've watched my previous videos, you'll know that I started off with nothing, no qualifications and certainly no money. But as I slowly...
So first of all, I really like to see people who have started with nothing talk about how to make any kind of income and how to actually get successful in business. Because I think when you started off with maybe a capital from your parents and your family, that doesn't invalidate your success, but it does put you off to a higher level when you're just starting off, as compared to someone who really doesn't have anyone's back when it comes to business, doesn't have anyone in their family that can teach them how to inherit anything. You kind of need to struggle going through the trenches of starting a business. And I think that's really interesting that he is one of these people who did that before the internet was a thing. Let's not forget that. He actually started a successful business when it was way harder to do than it is now for us with the internet.
I came across people that inspired me. I started using their passive income ideas in my life. I am so grateful to all of those people that I've met along the way, from the warehouse worker to the multi-millionaire businessmen. Each one added to my life in a different way. Now, if it's all right with you, I'd love to take you on the same journey as me. And no matter where you are in your life, you will be able to take advantage and some tips and tricks away that apply to you, and you can use them to make more money passively and change your life, just like I did. So you're ready to take...
I think we can summarize for now that he has a way better accent than me. I mean, he's British and I have a strange Middle Eastern accent, so he's already better than me and I'm feeling threatened.
Plunge, buckle up and smash that like button. But what is passive income? Now, personally, I don't like the term passive income, as it suggests that you're going to be making a ton of money by doing nothing at all, when nothing could be really further from the truth. When I first heard about it, I thought it was some kind of scam, like a get-rich-quick thing. I always think when it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Now, your teachers at school are going to tell you to go to university.
So this is a great point, and really it's the point that I kind of wanted to make with this entire video, so we can just wrap it up. No, I'm kidding. But honestly, passive income as this kind of fantasy of I'm gonna fly with my private jet all around the world, sit on a beach in beautiful places and do nothing and money is just gonna come into my life, it's just not real. It doesn't exist. There is no such thing. If you want to create passive income, you have to work for it. I really like that he puts in this disclaimer. I think a lot of influencers or gurus or whatever you want to call it, they would trap you in with promises of something that is not real. They would convince you to buy a course for a method that will teach you to get money very quickly, just like that. I don't know how to snap my fingers, sorry. But you get the idea.
Or we're going to tell you to go to university for you to get the best jobs you can. But the downside of that is you have the same 24 hours a day. So if you truly want to be rich, you need to find a way to make money while others are asleep. Imagine if you spend a couple of days working, but you get paid for that work forever, even when you're asleep. If you want a day off or you don't feel like working, then it really isn't a problem, because with passive income, the money is still flowing in.
He hasn't really gotten into the tips yet, but before we dive into them, he's talking about making money while others sleep, while you sleep, while you don't do anything, while you're not working. And there is one thing that can allow you to do that. It's going to be one thing that is in common for all of his tips and ideas of how you can generate passive income. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is at the end of the video, but try to see if you can actually figure it out as we're watching Mark's advice.
That's what passive income is. It's still a lot of work, but so is working a day job. Passive income just keeps paying you. The real aim is to have as many different passive income streams as possible, so eventually they can cover all your living expenses. Any extra that you make, you can reinvest. The dream is to invest the money you earn by working and live off the money that comes in passively. You then are able to retire early if you choose to do so. In my teens, I came across my first passive income idea. I used to visit a warehouse during my paper rounds as a teenager, and I would always overhear the warehouse workers talking about the stock market. Every week they'd be discussing a new investment they were going to be making. I didn't fully understand until one of the guys casually mentioned that he was a part owner of ExxonMobil, which is a massive oil and gas corporation. But what got me really interested was he got paid a proportion of the profits in something called a dividend. Before this, I'd always thought that the rich were the only ones that could invest in the stock market, but this really opened my eyes to the fact that anybody can do it with just a little bit of money. So let's break it all down. What exactly is a dividend, and how can you get involved with very little money and start earning some sweet passive income? So when you invest in the stock market, you're buying very small parts of companies called shares. These provide companies with money so that they can use it in their business to move things forward and hit their targets. So you're really valuable to them. Without shareholders, public businesses can't operate. So a dividend is kind of like a reward a company gives you for being a shareholder in their business. Now, not all companies pay a dividend. It's completely up to the board of directors. But if they want a dividend and they pay themselves, it means they have to pay you.
So his first tip is to invest in stocks, to invest in the market, whatever it is, by earning money when the company you bought stocks of grows, or whatever it is through dividends that they are distributing. I will say that if you're buying a small amount of stocks, you will not be making a lot of money with dividends, even if the company and the board of directors decide to distribute them. The thing is, this is great advice. If you have extra money, you should invest it. And stocks is a good way, a good place to invest your money. The thing is, if you want your investment in the stock market to be something that you can live off of, you would have to either invest a lot of money or wait a lot of time, both of which are good. I'm not saying don't invest because the revenue will be too slow. If you can invest $200 a month, do that. Even if you can invest $50 a month, do that. Whatever amount you have, use it as an investment. Just remember that if you don't have a lot of money, it's not going to be something that pays you a salary, at least not in the beginning. It's going to take a few years or a few months for you to really collect enough stocks and enough revenue for the stock market to live off of.
And that board of directors will make that dividend as long as it makes sense for their company to do so. This money's paid out in cash on a monthly, quarterly, or even a yearly basis. You might have heard about people buying stock low and selling it high, but with dividend stock.
Okay, so now he's explaining a little bit about how the stock market works. I'm gonna just skip ahead to that. There will be a link in the description to his video if you wanna watch it. I actually do recommend that you watch it. I think he has pretty good advice.
With a few different investments. So you'd have thought the trick is to find the companies with the highest percentage yield because you're going to get the most money back. That's what I thought too. But when you're thinking about investing, it's very important to think long term. And a small company that is paying out lots of money to its shareholders has less money it can use to improve its business. And you can wave goodbye to that passive income source as it'll all be cut off. So when you're looking to invest, make sure to check these things so you can make a good decision for the long term. You can find out all this information on trading apps like Robinhood and Webull. If you're interested, you can also get 2 free stocks if you sign up with my link in the description and deposit $100.
So Mark probably has an affiliate link for Webull in his description box, and this is another way to make passive income. Become an affiliate.
So it really depends on your goals and the time you have to research individual companies. My second passive income idea is selling online, and this came from a technology whiz kid called Alan. Now I used to use eBay personally, but I just couldn't get my head around how I could use it for my business. One day I bumped into Alan, and this was a little kid that I used to help put his Lego together with, and I found out he was now running his own business, grossing over $100,000 per month on eBay. As you can imagine, I wanted a little bit of that, and this rapidly turned into a major revenue stream which sells my products all around the globe, every day, 24/7. There are lots of different ways to sell products online as a side hustle or even as a business, and you can use platforms such as eBay or Amazon and many others. You don't even have to buy the product because you can do drop shipping, which is where you just market the product and the supplier sends it directly to the buyer without you even seeing or touching it. I prefer using eBay because I have my own warehouses, but if I was
The second tip for passive income for Mark is to sell products online. And this is something that a lot of people make a lot of money off of. You can definitely make passive income from a business selling products. However, he talks about it as if it is easy. And I understand that for him as a retailer with a running business, it would seem pretty easy to do something like dropshipping, which is the concept of marketing to the customer, buying directly from the supplier to the customer without you actually holding any products in your own warehouses. So we have an entire channel that talks about e-commerce and talks about this concept, and I do think it's a really good way to dip your toe in to the e-commerce world and into the business world in general. However, I've said however already, but let's ignore that. It's not easy at all, and it's not passive for a very long time. I know he said in the beginning, he gave the disclaimer that passive income of just like snapping your fingers and getting money in doesn't exist. But I just want to say it again. This model is not at all easy and is not at all passive. Your only way of turning your e-commerce business into a passive business is by having a very clear exit strategy that includes a lot of automation and a lot of hiring people that will manage the business while you do whatever you want to do, travel the world. So it takes a long time to build something like that, and it's not easy to be successful in e-commerce. It's a very competitive market. Just take that into account.
Now, dropshipping would be a good side hustle to improve my marketing and business skills. Some good tips for selling online are basically take care of your profit margins, particularly when you're dropshipping. You need to be sure you're making money, as any fool can give away the product, but a good entrepreneur always makes money on every single sale. And also try and find items that are either very popular or very unique, because you're going to sell so many more of them and potentially make more money. And do a better job of marketing and promoting than your competitors. Now, this usually involves writing your own descriptions and adding personal detail in and taking better photos. Even if you have a great product, it will not sell if you don't market it well. My best mate Stuart was the inspiration for my third passive income idea.
Yeah, so he has good tips about success in e-commerce. Obviously, they're very general and high level. You really need to drill down into it to know how to do it well. But these are good tips, and eventually e-commerce could become passive. It's not easy to make it passive, to be honest. You have a physical product in the mix, and you have a lot of customers complaining about where are their products, why did they come broken, wanting a refund. And when you're drop shipping, it happens way more because shipping times are long and you don't have any control over the product. It's possible, it is a business model, but it is a business. I wouldn't call it a passive income.
Stuart is an extremely successful businessman. We've gone on multiple ski trips, and he's actually been my best man at my...
They have kilts, they wore kilts at his wedding. This is so cool. I wish I was at a wedding where people wore kilts.
wedding. For as long as I've known Stuart, he's been investing in property. Real estate is one of the safest long-term investments you can have, and it took me a little too long to realise this. Like stocks, I originally thought I would start investing in real estate and making passive income once I had enough money behind me, but that couldn't be further from the truth. There are so many different ways you can make passive income from real estate without even buying a property. So imagine there's a big pot, so say something like this, and everyone wants to be in the property game but can't afford to own their own house. So they pop their money in the pot, thank you very much. Have we got some more? Oh, thank you very much. Just like so. The person in charge of the pot, me in this case, can go and take this and choose a range of properties to invest in. And once they start renting them out, you'll be able to share in the profit of the investment and what it creates. This is known as an investment crowd fund. But even though you know where your money is, you don't have a lot of control over it. If you want more control over a property, then you can always go the rent to rent route. This is a pretty simple idea. Firstly, you find a house or an apartment in a popular area that you can rent. Then you have a chat with the owner to see if he's up for renting you the property, which you can then go on to rent to other people. So you can actually be a landlord without actually owning the property. A great way of doing this nowadays is with online platforms like Airbnb. People are making millions using this strategy, but you need to be aware that the more properties that you take on, the more responsibility.
Okay, so this might be my point of view as someone who lives very close to Tel Aviv, where the entire real estate market is overblown with prices. Even during COVID, the prices for apartments in this area has not dropped significantly. It dropped maybe a little bit. And I'm no real estate genius or expert. I don't really do a lot of real estate, but I think it really depends on where you are in the world. You will not necessarily be able to do this kind of subletting for profit model, because if the prices are already super high, how much higher can you raise them to actually make a profit out of it? You will end up covering your expenses and nothing more. You need to do your market research basically before you get into something like that, understand the prices, see if you can find opportunities of properties that are lower in rent. Specifically because of where I live, I think if I would be to create a business like that, I would try to go ahead and actually find owners, like apartment owners that have either a building or maybe just like 1 or 2 apartments that they don't really want to manage. Maybe they live far away. Actually, most of my landlords that I've ever rented from lived like a few hours away from the apartment, and they don't want to come in and manage it. So I think it would be interesting to try to reach out to them and see if you can get a percentage of the rent in exchange for managing the apartments. Also very interesting, but here you are kind of selling your time. So this is not your apartment. This is someone else's apartment. You're selling your time in order to manage this apartment. That means that it's not entirely passive. It is a little bit passive because you would get the percentage every month, even if you didn't do anything this month. But unless you have a way to kind of outsource yourself, which is outsourcing the outsourcing and can really hurt your margins, then you actually keep doing the work. You have to keep doing the work, but it could be a very interesting model. I'm not saying not.
You have for paying the rent. So it's a good strategy, as long as you're willing to take on the risk. The way I chose to invest in real estate was to save up a 20% down payment. Then I purchased a single family home, as I believed it would give me the best.
I mean, yeah, I think that's the best way to invest in real estate, to have enough money to actually buy your own property. It takes a while, and you know, the more expensive housing is where you live, the longer it would take you, or the larger your monthly income would have to be.
Income possible. And if you're not at the stage to be able to do that yet because you don't have enough money, start saving. You only need 10 to 20% deposit. As an added benefit, the tenants also pay off your mortgage. So you're left with a property that is completely owned by you, and you have the ability to rent it out monthly, bringing you a nice bit of passive income. My fourth passive income idea is starting a YouTube channel. My son has always enjoyed watching YouTube, and he actually grew his own YouTube channel, which landed him trips all over the world with brands like Red Bull at the age of just 20 years old. This really showed me the power of social media. And recently, when I had a bit more time, I realized that I could make videos helping people to grow their wealth. An added benefit was that we could put ads on the video to cover my equipment costs, which allows me to make better quality videos all through a passive income source. Actually, don't tell him, but we're only 2,000 behind him on subscribers, so don't forget to subscribe and we'll beat him by the end of this month. This is something anyone can do with just an iPhone and some basic YouTube knowledge, which can all be found for free, guess where? On YouTube itself.
So yeah, he's definitely kicking ass on YouTube. He does not have a lot of videos uploaded yet, but he has 320,000 subscribers as I'm filming this. And he's doing a great job. He's giving valuable information to people, and his subscriber count grew according to that. But again, YouTube is not really passive. I mean, it would require a lot of work to actually grow a channel. Even if your channel blows up, you would need to consistently make videos to actually get the revenue. YouTubers who actually walk by doing YouTube, they talk about the burnout, the continuous chase of views and ads revenue and YouTube censorship and so many other things that are actually making them struggle to make money off of YouTube. And I'm not saying don't start a YouTube channel to make income. Quite the opposite. I think it's a really good opportunity and each of us should make use of it. I'm just saying it's not entirely passive. It's not like you make 10 videos, forget about it, and they are making you money. You would have to continuously create more videos, work with brands on brand deals, add affiliate links, add AdSense once your channel is big enough for monetization, etc. There is work to do here. And if you want this to be something that continues to live for years, you would have to also continue to work at it for years and create new videos.
Now, ads aren't the only way to make money on YouTube. Another passive way is affiliate marketing. I understand that not everyone wants to be a YouTuber, so a good way to make some easy money would be to film simple review videos on a product and ask people to use your Amazon affiliate link to buy it. Think of it like Unbox Therapy. The amount of views they get on that channel every day is just mind-blowing. Whenever they buy from your affiliate link, then you'll get paid a small commission. The most important thing is that the video content is always relevant and it never goes out of date. So once you've made the video, you could be making passive income forever.
Going back to what I said before, yeah, he's right. A video can generate income for years, but it really depends on like your niche and how long will this video stay relevant. Is it something that in a week from now no one would be clicking again or searching again? Something that in a year from now is not going to be relevant anymore? Content does have like a lifespan. At some point it becomes obsolete and newer content in the same niche is created.
My fifth passive income idea is selling digital products and was inspired by a meeting that I had with Richard Branson. You know, the guy that owns Virgin. I discussed with Richard how the world was changing and how information was becoming more valuable than gold. What an age to live in. Just think about some of the top companies. Airbnb has no real estate, Facebook creates no content, and Netflix isn't even a TV channel. The internet has truly changed the game. This simple meeting really had a dramatic impact on my life and my business. As I started to be more open to new online opportunities, I started selling a digital flight simulation program. We only had to create that once, and then we can sell it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, passively, in my sleep. It was perfect. Here are some ideas that you can try. Create an app. One of the ones with the in-app purchases. You've probably seen a lot of YouTubers promoting Raid Shadow Legends. I mean, this would be a perfect brand deal if I had one. You can upgrade your armor in that, your weapons, you name it. There's an upgrade for it for a little bit of money. And that money is going straight into the app developer's pocket, because guess what? He doesn't have to go out and make a sword. He doesn't have to go out and make a new suit of armor for you. It's just a little bit of code, and he can sell that simple line of code.
Just a little bit of code. I find that offensive. Developing an app is not just writing a little bit of code. It takes work. I mean, no, I know he doesn't actually mean that. He doesn't think it's like one line of code and we're done. We have an app that generates money. I just needed to say that.
Over and over again. And how about this? Not everyone has the time to build up a social media account. So if you don't have a lot of money, but you do have a lot of time, you could create a theme page on Instagram, for example, and then sell that on for a profit to whoever wants to buy it. The most important thing to remember is your most valuable possession is locked away in your brain. I'm talking about your knowledge. Your knowledge is something that can be packaged.
So yeah, I think the last tip basically summarizes that you could sell digital assets. Whatever it is, an app, a SaaS product, which is what we do, whatever it is, a course, maybe printables. There's a bunch of digital products that you could sell. It could be creating a community on Facebook and actually using it for paid promotions, endless possibilities. Again, these things do require work. And I think out of all of the things that he mentioned, this one is the most achievable for someone that doesn't have the capital to buy an expensive asset, but also wants to make it as passive as possible. So in my experience, both in e-commerce and selling digital products are just way easier to turn into a passive income stream. There's a lot less logistics. That doesn't mean that they are less complicated. A lot of the times, technically, they would be more complicated. They kind of compensate for it by being more lucrative because your profit margins are higher and having less logistics around them, so you can turn it passive faster. So yeah, I really like this last tip. I mean, I think all of these tips are valid, but I think this is the most approachable one, the most conceivable one for someone with zero experience and zero money to invest. We went through the 5 tips by Mark on how to create passive income. Before I give my last thoughts, I promised in the beginning that there is a common theme to all of them. There is one thing that connects them all to each other. Have you figured out what it is? Let me know in the comments if you figured out the common factor for all of these passive income opportunities that he suggests. I'm gonna give you a minute to do that. So, the secret sauce of passive income is actually to create assets. For you to have a passive income, something that generates money while you sleep, while you travel, while you eat, or whatever else, you need to have assets that generate revenue. So, for example, let's look at the digital products. If you have an app, that is an asset that creates money. If you have a real estate, a house, this is an asset that creates money. If you have stocks, you have a percentage of a company, basically an asset that creates you money. I think you get the idea. You need to collect as many assets as possible to increase your passive income pool. The thing is about passive income, creating an asset or buying an asset takes either a lot of time or a lot of money. So whatever it is you choose, it's not going to be passive for a long time. unless again you have the money to invest in something that is already running, which if you're watching this video, I'm guessing you don't. And that is fine. It doesn't mean you can't create passive income. It just means that you need to be prepared for the work that you will have to do to actually turn it into something passive. I think in these days, it's the easiest it has ever been to get rich. And I'm not saying become a millionaire necessarily. I'm talking about get rich in the sense that you're not tied down to selling your hours for income. You can actually create digital assets, use the internet to grow some passive income sources. So it is possible, but you would have to work for it. And that is really the point I wanted to make. If you look at the 5 tips from Mark, you will see that none of them is passive, not really. They all require work for them to become an asset that can generate you money for years to come. So this is it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, again, don't forget to like us and subscribe and let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think about these tips for passive income? What do you think about my summary of it? Do you agree with me or not? I will see you in the next video. Should I make a video about passive income?